chapter 13, Taking the Roof Off, we look at the fact that some points of view, if taken seriously, they don't actually commit self-destruction, but they work against themselves in different ways. And so we talk about when played out consistently, they lead to this unusual and even absurd conclusions, absurd being the key word here. So when we discuss worldviews, I think Answers in Genesis and Dr. Jason Lyle have a good word picture, and it's kind of the worldviews are the glasses that you look at the world through. So, if you're looking at a flower as a biologist, you might see, this is how life continues on. This is how it grows. But if you're a florist, you might just see it as, well, this color represents love, and so I'm going to put it in. And so it's what framework are you utilizing these things?
If you're me, you're looking at it in terms of how can I not kill it?
Right. Yeah. Is it still green? Is it growing? Yeah. And so he kind of likens worldviews, how we look at the world, the kind of the what we bring to the table first. Those are presuppositions as maps, and maps are these old things back in the day before GPS. I guess GPS is kind of like a map, but these maps. So they're someone's idea of what the world looks like. And so you lay it out in front of it, and how you get from Kalamazoo, Michigan to Detroit, you might go up through Lansing, or you might go down into Indiana and Ohio. I don't know why you would want to ever do that for any reason, but how to get there, how to get to your conclusion is what we're looking at here. So if you use the map but arrive at a strange destination, you're either that part of the map is inaccurate and wrong, or the map itself is wrong. It's the wrong one for wherever you're trying to go to, or the region that you're trying to get to. And so this taking the roof off, as we'll dig deeper into it, is showing the inaccuracy of the route or the map in general.
All right. And so how do we do that? How do we show the inaccuracy of the map? What do we mean by taking the roof off? Well, he says it's pretty simple, actually, and he gives us 2 or 3 steps here to help us to understand how this works, right? So first he says, in terms of taking the roof off, and again, what we're trying to do is just show to the person that their particular map is not accurate, right? And it leads in the wrong direction. So the first thing we do is we adopt the other person's viewpoint for the sake of argument. Okay, if you believe this, let's assume that that's true, right? So we adopt their viewpoint, right? And then secondly, he says, we give his idea what he calls a test drive. Right? So we adopt the view, and then we get into the car, as it were, and we begin to use the map to drive.
Right. Pilot to co-pilot.
Right. And so, and so we try to determine, he says, where we will end up if we faithfully follow the instructions, right? Where will we end up, right?
So take a right at the McDonald's, take a left at the Speedway, you'll get there.
That's right. Yeah, the swamp or whatever. And so he says, if we arrive at an odd destination, then, we point this out and invite the person to reconsider their starting point. Right. So those are the 3 kind of ways to do this. You kind of adopt their viewpoint, you take it for a test drive, figure out where it leads you, and then if it's an odd destination, then we point it out and allow the person to rethink their issue. Right.
You kind of say, like, okay, let me take your position. It would entail this. Is that correct? And then you would say, doesn't it seem weird that you hold this position? And we have a discussion based on that. So then he goes on to say that sometimes when you press an idea to its logical consequences, the result is counterintuitive or absurd. It's kind of where you don't really want to be. And so by pointing that out, you're hopefully kind of putting a mirror up to them and say, is this what you want to look like? And so you're, again, it's not, this is absurd. You believe in a magic sky fairy. So is this what you mean? No, you're presenting them with a legitimate question of, hey, you believe that morality is relative. Does that mean that?
So let's take it for a drive.
Yeah,
right? Let's take it for a drive. Morality is relative.
Morality is relative. Therefore, I can go out and eat anybody that I want to.
Right.
It's good for me. I view it as fine.
May not be good for me, but it's good for you.
Right.
And if morality is relative, what can I say? Right.
Yeah. You're the slower one. I'm the faster one. And so you present it to them and say, would you agree that if morality is relative, then there's nothing that you could really say that says that eating people is wrong? And so hopefully what they say is, well, I don't actually mean that. And so maybe we can find where an objective value is in some things. So sometimes you might want to say, if it does no harm to somebody else. And so you can have, again, a greater discussion on that. But hopefully just clarifying where they're coming from of what they mean when they hold this position. That's what we want to do here.
Yeah.
So sometimes when you, again, press the idea, it's either counterintuitive, I don't really want to be eaten, or it's absurd. I get to eat people then, right? So we don't want to do that.
Yeah.
So this kind of taking the roof off is we bring out the nice Latin phrases from our philosophy classes, and it's reductio ad absurdum, or just reductio. Yeah. What it means is it reduces a point to its absurd conclusion or consequence. The absurdum there is the Latin.
Reduced to absurdity is the idea. Yeah.